It's important to remember that Japan is an earthquake-prone country, and a major earthquake can happen anywhere, at any time. Hi, I'm Tokyo Joe and welcome to the Tokyo Joe Show. Japan is famous for its earthquakes, but you might be wondering just how dangerous are they actually. You may want to know how often they occur and how likely is it for one to happen during your stay in Japan. In this video, I'll explain the earthquake situation in Japan so that you know of what to expect, how you can prepare, and what actions you should and shouldn't take if a major earthquake strikes during your trip. While earthquakes are common in Japan, information for travelers in English is limited. So I've put this video together, hoping that this video will answer many of your questions. Did you know that over 10% of the world's earthquakes happen in Japan? The reason lies beneath the surface. The earth is covered by hard plates called tectonic plates, and Japan sits right on top of where these plates meet and collide. In Japan, earthquakes are part of our daily life, and we're quite used to getting shaken. In 2023 alone, there were over 2,000 earthquakes across Japan. That's an average of 5.5 earthquakes per day. Living in Tokyo, I experience around 20 or more earthquakes every year, and 3 or 4 of them are pretty shaky. You might feel small earthquake tremors, but the risk of encountering a serious earthquake during your trip should be relatively low. However, you have to keep in mind that Japan is currently in an active seismic period. The Japan Meteorological Agency has stated that the chance of a mega earthquake hitting Tokyo within the next 30 years is over 70%. Past records show that Tokyo has suffered a mega earthquake every 100 years, and considering the last one was in 1923, it's overdue, and we're now in an active seismic period. This means that a mega earthquake can happen in Tokyo at any time. A mega earthquake is a massive earthquake that is powerful and destructive. In Japan, we use 2 scales to measure earthquakes: shindo, which measures the degree of shaking, and magnitude, which measures the energy released. Just to give you an idea, you won't be able to stay standing in a shindo 4 earthquake. These are photos of our kitchen after a shindo 5 earthquake. An earthquake with a shindo 6 or more is rated as a daishinsai, which means a major earthquake. If the magnitude is 8 or higher, it becomes a mega earthquake. When a large earthquake is about to hit, the first thing you'll notice is the alarm that goes off like crazy on everyone's mobile phones. So this is what it sounds like.
地震です。地震です。
This scares me every time. It's an early warning system that gives you about 10 seconds before the shaking begins. So you've only got 10 seconds. If you're indoor, quickly put out any flames, secure an evacuation route, and protect your head. If you're outside, look for an open space away from buildings where you can avoid falling debris like broken window glasses. If that's not possible, cover your head with whatever you have, like a bag or a backpack, and quickly look for a sturdy building where you can take shelter. Major earthquakes typically last about 10 seconds, but some can go on for a few minutes. They may also be followed by aftershocks, which can be more severe than the initial earthquake. So stay indoors until the shaking stops, then evacuate if necessary. But please, don't use the elevator. There are also false alarms sometimes, but don't let that fool you. A major earthquake will come sooner or later. If you're inside a train or a bus, stay calm and follow the staff's instructions. Try to find someone who speaks English and can help explain the situation to you. If you're in a taxi, ask the driver to take you back to your hotel as soon as possible. Keep in mind that many people will be out on the street trying to get taxis, so be sure to hold on to yours. If the roads are blocked or the traffic is jammed, you may have to walk. If your embassy is closer than your hotel, it might be wise to walk to your embassy instead of your hotel. In any case, the appropriate actions to take will depend on the situation, and the situation can also change from time to time. Everyone around you will likely be just as confused as you and may not be able to help you out. So get yourself prepared as much as possible. In a major earthquake, infrastructures and essential services could be disrupted for days. You might have to live without water, food, electricity, heating, or without internet access. The Tokyo Metropolitan Government has published a comprehensive disaster guide, and I recommend reading it prior to your trip. I'll leave the link in the description box. Your GPS may not work, so get yourself a map and get familiar with the areas and the locations. Phone lines are set to connect better than internet during an emergency crisis, so write down the phone number of your hotel, your embassy, and anyone you may need to contact. Electricity can go out for days, so keep your mobile phone always charged and also have a backup battery. Store large bottles of drinking water in your hotel room. You might not be able to use your credit cards, debit cards, or your payment apps, so have some cash with you. Here's a little additional tip. I have a small whistle attached to my keyring. The whistle is to let others hear me in case I'm trapped somewhere and I need to be heard. I bought it online for just $1, and it's my lucky charm. When booking a hotel, most people focus on the location or the budget, but not really on earthquake safety. It's hard to tell which hotels are safer, but here are some points that you might want to consider when choosing your hotel. In the year 2000, Japan introduced strict earthquake-resistant regulations for buildings, and hotels built or renovated after 2000 are said to withstand large earthquakes. During an earthquake crisis, you can get stuck in your hotel for many days, and it's important to choose a hotel that stores enough food and drinking water for the guests. Hotels that care about their guests are likely to be more helpful and reliable during an emergency situation. So choose hotels that are known for their outstanding hospitality. When you check into your hotel, you may want to ask the hotel staff of their earthquake safety measures. Also, make sure to check the location of fire exits, stairways, and evacuation routes. Remember that fire is the most dangerous risk in an earthquake crisis. The death toll of the devastating 1923 earthquake in Tokyo was more than 100,000, and 90% were victims of fires that broke out following the earthquake. So turn off any flames immediately and evacuate quickly from areas with risks of fire. Tsunami is what you really need to watch out for. Did you know that tsunamis can be more dangerous than earthquakes? Japan is an island, and we're surrounded by the ocean, and we are constantly under the risk of a tsunami crisis. In the 2011 Great East Japan earthquake, over 90% of the deaths were due to tsunamis and not from the earthquake itself. The government warns us that the devastating Nankai Trough tsunami could hit the Pacific coast of Japan at any time within the next decade. Even though tsunamis are more dangerous than earthquakes, many people don't seem to take it seriously enough. So for your safety, I've decided to make a separate video on the tsunami situation in Japan. I'll leave the link in the description box when the video becomes ready, so please check it out as well. So there you go. I hope that this video was helpful to understand the earthquake situation in Japan, and now you know what to expect and how to keep yourself safe in case of a major earthquake. Japan has the most earthquakes in the world, but Japan also has the most advanced earthquake protections in the world. Don't worry too much, be prepared just in case, and have a wonderful time in Japan. Thank you for watching the Tokyo Joe Show. I'm Tokyo Joe, and I look forward to seeing you in my other videos. And until then, mata ne!